How's everything? Yeah, it's good. Oh, good. That's good. I heard.
由李Ming-en女士的追思礼现在开始。Memorial service of 祖妈妈will start now. Let me read the Bible verse. The eternal God is your refuge, and underneath are the everlasting arms. He will thrust out the enemy from before you, and will say, destroy, from Deuteronomy chapter 33 and verse 27. 圣经在那个申命记33章27节讲，永生的神是你的居所，他永久的防备在你以下。他在你面前撵出仇敌，说：毁灭吧！我们一起站起来，我们祷告。Let's stand and pray. 还有爱的护他的弟兄姐妹，让你的话语，让今天这个聚会，我们看到你的荣耀，看到你是这样子爱世上所有的人，特别是求妈妈。
Thank you. favorite Bible passages. Please follow along on the back cover of your program or in your Bibles.
站起来。
站起来。
我是邱妈妈的儿子邱明德，我女儿邱佳婷今天替我翻译。My name is Martin here, and son of my mama, and my daughter Phyllis is going to translate it for me today. 我母亲邱李明恩女士，1918年8月4日生于浙江省宁波市，全家是一个基督教的家庭。她的外公是一个牧师，她的父亲是在中国海关做事。她有9个兄弟姐妹，在当中她是排第8，一共有3个兄弟，5个姐姐。我妈妈中学的时候就去上海念着圣玛利亚女子学校，然后毕业之后又在上海念上海的圣约翰大学。中学和大学都是圣公会办的，英文都是美国人教的，所以他的英文特别好。在大学里，他遇到了我们的父亲，他们就结婚。如果你成为一个基督徒，上帝会保佑你的家庭一代接一代。
Mom also was very proud of her grandchildren. All of them graduated from college, some went on to advanced degrees. In earlier days, she would use a pen and paper to write them long letters, and then she learned how to use a computer. She usually instructed them on how to take care of their health, pay attention to safety, make friends, honor your parents, and to go to church on Sundays. God says if one becomes a Christian, God will bless the family from generation to generation.
妈妈住在Minnesota州有12年，养成有一个钓鱼的兴趣。母亲上了船呢，就选了一个地方嘛，就不动。她不喜欢晒太阳，但是她非常耐心和全神贯注，不断轻轻地在移动她的钓竿。有时候她会小声地跟人说：“有一条鱼，但是一条小的。”常常她是唯一的人钓到鱼，其他的人都是空手而归。
Mom lived in Minnesota for 12 years and really enjoyed fishing. Mother would usually choose a place on the boat and rarely move away from that place. She was always so focused and patient. She would gently move the fishing rod constantly, and sometimes she would whisper to Betty and say, "There's a fish, but a small one." Many times she was the only person who would catch a fish, whereas the rest of us would come home empty-handed.
她喜欢旅行，1996年去了澳大利亚、New Zealand 跟夏威夷玩。我们去澳大利亚的 Alice Spring， 她看到了那个kangaroo 袋鼠跟 koala bear。她喜欢新西兰的那个羊。在美国，我们一起去了 Orlando、Florida、California、Sedona 和那个Grand Canyon。最近一个旅行是到纽约来参加我女儿 Phyllis 跟你的婚礼。
She also enjoyed traveling. In 1996, we traveled to Australia, New Zealand, and Hawaii. We went to the outbacks of Australia and Alice Spring, where she saw kangaroos and koala bears. She was amazed at all the sheep in New Zealand. And in the U.S., we spent vacations together in Orlando, Vermont, California, Sedona, and the Grand Canyon. The most recent trip she made was to New York to attend Phyllis and Dean's marriage celebration.
母亲可说是在她那个时代前面的女性之一。她受到中国的传统教育，温柔、忍耐、坚强、勤奋努力，对于工作一丝不苟，又接触到西洋文化，有广阔的世界观。
Our mother was brought up in a traditional Chinese family. She was gentle, patient, diligent, and paid attention to detail in her work. She received a Western education in high school and university and was ahead of her generation in her world culture, views, and ideas.
我们会永远怀念母亲。
Mom, we will always cherish your memory, and you will always live in our hearts. And now, we'd like to invite Rita up.
also from her students, and we wanted to start the remembrance section off with a few words from some of her students that weren't able to join us today in person, yes. So let me explain the picture a little bit. So this is from the front row, right to left. The first person on the right is Joy Yip Wai Ching, and next to her is Hoda Nai, and then Wang Yup Ging. In the back row, her students include Wang Wing Yu, Kitty Hao, Wang Lai King, Wang Man Yi, Eleanor Chan Lai, and Wang Hing Wan 81. And here's what they had to say. We are so privileged to have been students of Mrs. Jur at Hong Kong's New Method College back in 1973 and 74. We still remember attending her history and English classes back in those days, and it was really exciting. Her dedication was beyond question. She did not only give her students informative notes of the examination syllabus, she was always ready to give us additional tutoring classes to prepare for the hectic and demanding public examinations. She would not hesitate to share with us her experiences during the Japanese invasion of mainland China and how deep and painful the Chinese suffered in the Second World War. Her selfless devotion to education ignited in her students a passion to excel and to look for our dreams in the years to come. And we remain to this day a full admirer of her teaching. And to continue with the remembrances, I'm going to invite my brother Brian to come up and share a few words from our students.
It's another letter from one of graduate students from New Method College, Xingfa Suyan. This is from an arts class. In memory of Mrs. Jur, our beloved teacher. Mrs. Jur, our history teacher in Form 4 and 5, was always in our thoughts. She was a very gentle, thin, and tall lady with impeccable taste. She always wore a cheongsam and looked very serious. She delivered her lessons clearly and patiently in a very soft and firm voice. She always asked each and every one of us questions to check our understanding. She was very strict and stern and made us stand up for the whole lesson when we could not give correct or acceptable answers. When we were daydreaming or when we were talking in class, her dedication to her teaching, her perseverance in helping us develop a positive attitude to life, and her love for each and every one of us will always remain in our hearts. We feel deeply grateful for all that you have done for us, Mrs. Jur. Thank you and goodbye. May God be always with you.
Hi, my name is Darren Jur. I am the son of Martin and Ellen Jur, and Chou Mama was 是我的安娘. So I'll read you 2 letters from her students from New Method College. The first one is by Jeanette Mary Tam. There was a film, To Serve with Love, in the 1960s, starring Sidney Poitier. In Hong Kong, there was a true story, To Mrs. Jur with Love, in the 1970s in New Method College. New Method College was a school notorious for naughty students. Many of them did not care much about their studies. Classroom discipline was often very difficult and a hectic task. In the face of all these difficulties and challenges, Mrs. Jur was able to motivate the students to learn. She taught us with her heart. Her firm looks always told her students that they should not waste time and must concentrate on their studies. Gradually, the students' behavior changed. We all knew that we must listen carefully as we wanted to improve. Not only did she encourage the brighter students, but also gave extra help to the slower ones. The second letter, she did not give up help. Dear friends, relatives, sisters, and brothers of Mrs. Jur, I am Kitty Hao, one of Mrs. Jur's students at New Method College in the 70s. It was admittedly hard for me to find words that best describe such a respectable and lovable teacher of ours. As I had lost my mom at age 7, Mrs. Jur was more than just a teacher with a passion for her life's work. To me, she was also a great shepherd, an evangelist, and a spiritual parent sent by God. She demonstrated a generous love evident in her teaching style. She would draw the slower students to sit close to her at the front and patiently offered us equal opportunities to answer questions. Rather than getting the right answers straight from her brighter students, so as to move on quickly with the class, she motivated us to answer by assuring us that making mistakes was the very process of learning. She simply would not blame.
My name is David Leung, and I'm from Chongqing College. I'm Mrs. Lee's 嗰度成日話喺崇真書院，李老師咧係一位教學嚴謹、耐心教導、充滿愛心，令學生敬佩嘅老師。喺40多年之後，喺芝加哥，特別係呢幾年，差不多每一年我都喺李老師家中係作客嘅。我覺得李老師佢談話溫柔，態度安詳，舉止優雅，頭腦清晰。雖然佢係90幾歲，嗰陣時我哋嘅80接近係90歲嘅時候，記憶猶佳，特別係早年嘅事情咧，佢係記得好清楚嘅。與我探嘅時候咧，佢同我哋暢談佢喺上海嘅童年同埋青少年嘅時候嘅生活。佢亦都同我回憶喺崇真書院教學嗰時候嘅日子。佢亦都可以念出一啲學生嘅名，雖然經過40幾年，但係佢仍然係記得我哋嘅。咁樣咧我見到喺Stephen Chan 屋企得到佢嘅個女同埋女婿同埋其他嘅親友嘅照顧之下咧，我可以覺得我哋知道咩叫做安享晚年。如果我哋即係將來有機會係好似啲 Disney 咁樣去過佢嘅晚年嘅生活咧，真係神俾我哋嘅福氣。呢一篇咧。無論係英文同埋中文嘅，後來嘅中文咧，都係一位同學關志健所寫嘅。佢係代表我哋班嘅同學咧係所寫嘅。嗱，咁首先咧，佢叫我讀出呢個英文嘅先啊。既然大家睇到咧就中文，我哋讀中文嚇。佢話不生則教志辛勤，理門立說盡是新，銘記課堂受應學。因傳術業解迷津，魂歸天國長隨主。體入蓬山永別塵，我輩哀思成自達。天高地遠淚沾根。呢個係我哋一位同學佢為我哋呢個聚會咧係寫嘅篇中文去懷念李老師嘅。咁另外一篇英文嘅咧，我就冇。send 俾阿 Stephen 去打出嚟，咁我哋大家聽我讀一次。呢個係我哋嘅同學一啲嘅心聲。佢話 Miss Lee, we never hesitate to say that you were absolutely the best teacher we ever have, and we were really fortunate to have you in our school. Your professionalism and passion for teaching have made all of us eternally reminiscence in our English and history lessons. Even in our dreams, your dedication to teaching is matched only by your compassion for all your students. Please remember that you always hold a very special place in our heart. While we mourn the loss of a great teacher, we feel blessed and honored that you have been an unforgettable part of our school life. May you rest in peace in God's paradise. To all members of Miss Lee's family, we offer our most sincere condolence. 呢、個呢就係、我哋崇真書院65年畢業嘅同學為大家所做作嘅。咁我喺呢度呢，亦都或者我哋介紹下我哋65年畢業嘅呢位同學今日都喺呢一度嚇。Stephen Lau、Angela Leung、有 Kenny 喺邊度啊？Kenny Tong 嚇。咁仲有我哋嘅同學呢，係 Martin 都係我哋同班嘅嚇。仲有邊位呢？阿麥先生嚇。咁你應該係高我哋班係咪呢？64年嘅嚇。咁仲有冇崇真嘅同學喺度啊？咁我哋呢，利用呢一個機會啦，就係真係紀念我哋一位喺我哋嘅生命裏邊影響我哋唔少嘅一位老師李老師。我哋好多謝佢教導，亦都多謝佢做人處世俾我哋一啲嘅模式我真係多謝佢。
My name is Eddie Wang, and Joe's family and my family are very, very close family friends. That date back in 1930s. It all started with my dad and Joe's husband were. Miss Lee had been my teacher since junior high, then senior high. Luckily, her son Duck, his name Daigalo, was also in our class. And so we play a lot together. And just like the last kids of our ages. And most mom would probably just yell constantly at them and tell us stop fooling around and then study or get to work. But Miss Lee, my teacher, was very nice. She got us all together up school and give us some private tutoring in school. And this goes on for at least a year. So in a way, she put a stop to our fooling around. And the way she did it was so great. She sacrificed herself, her time, for our own good. There was 3 of us then, but this third individual failed the Hong Kong group test, about Hong Kong Woodhouse, and he disappeared since then. But I heard he's reached there as a new study abroad in Australia. Now he's back to Hong Kong as a big boss or something. One thing I always remember Miss Lee, like my second mom, as I sincerely just heard in my heart. She's always kind.
And I'm one of Mrs. Lee's grandsons. As you heard earlier,
Probably wear the new sweaters that she would bring me. And being a kid, I didn't really understand how much effort that she put into it. So I would just wear it all the time. I remember I wear it playing football, I wear it to gym class, I wore it to church. I was always in her sweater. And on school picture day, a lot of those pictures growing up was in her sweaters. And I knew no one else.
Graduate fellowship was the fellowship that Joe Mama frequently attend. Every time she came, we were so happy.
不光是那个团契那个主日崇拜，他也来参加，跟我们一同来聚会。
Not only she attended the fellowship, but also she attended the worship with us.
刚才诗歌是他最喜欢。
The hymn just sing that's her favorite.
刚才所念的经文，圣经也是他所喜欢的。
The scripture reading was all.
also the brothers and sisters of the church for your participation of my mother-in-law, Mrs. Julie's memorial service. Your love, support, and encouragement, and the presence today really means a lot to our families. Yes, our mother, grandma, had a wonderful and rewarding life. And yes, we do miss her. Yet, we take comfort in knowing that now he is with the Lord, and also in happy memories that we spent together over these years. At this time, I would like to especially acknowledge some of the people that they helped to make this service happen. Linus, and I can see Benson, and the audio video team, and Janice, the pianist, and check out your efforts in translation, and also Zhang Lan, the church secretary. We also would like to thank the sisters. They are doing a fantastic job, and probably the most important job in organizing the lunch, as well as the reception programs. The sisters are Liesel, Gumsi, excuse me, Payne, Amy, Dorothy, Eva, and Julie. And I hope I don't miss anybody. Thanks for your help, and it sure it really makes the service more enjoyable. Last but not least, I would like to thank Pastor Ma and Mrs. Ma for the continuous spiritual guidance for our families all throughout this period. And once again, thanks for coming, and may God bless you all.